Cairo, the talks on the conflict in Gaza are entering a critical phase. The current 72-hour ceasefire expires on Wednesday. CCTV's Adel Mahrouky joins us from Cairo. And Adel, tell us what's the latest.
Well, Israel's delegation here in Cairo seems to be more perceptive to demands or proposals to gradually lift the siege from Gaza. And Cairo is trying to seize these talks to extend the ceasefire so that the humanitarian aid would have more time to enter to the siege strip.
Disagreements in the first round of talks failed to secure an extension to the ceasefire. With deteriorating humanitarian conditions in Gaza, Cairo wants to succeed this time, at least for humanitarian purposes.
We have no option but to continue our effort. This is a moral and political obligation on Egypt, and we are always there to support the parties in reaching an agreement that will protect civilians in Gaza from the suffering that they endured during the last months.
After 9 hours of straight talks on Monday, a partial draft agreement has been reached. The Israeli delegation then left for a meeting with the Prime Minister Netanyahu's office for his response. But negotiators are calling on Israel to observe the Oslo Accord signed in 1993 and subsequent agreements.
All that we submitted are commitments on the Israeli side, but Israel continues its irritating methods. They want things to remain as is. It's very clear now they want to tie the needs of 1.7 million Palestinians who are living without electricity, water, infrastructure. It's clear Israel doesn't want the reconstruction of Gaza. It is using these needs to embezzle political gains, like disarmament.
According to Palestinian sources close to the negotiations here in Cairo, Israel has agreed to gradually lift the siege on Gaza through increasing the number of trucks importing goods to Gaza and the number of citizens using Israel's Erez Passage. Fishing will be allowed to up to 12 nautical miles. Money wiring from the West Bank to Gaza will be allowed through the Palestinian Authority, and the Gaza-Rafah passage will operate normally from the Palestinian side.
Now, two points still remain, and mainly the biggest challenge is not just in the talks in Cairo, but it is within the Palestinian factions themselves. An article like wiring money to Gaza, both Hamas and Rafah and the Fatah, have agreed that a third party would take over this process. It's a signal that both sides are still not over the differences between them, and also giving the passage, which is an Egyptian request, that the Rafah passage should also be administrated by the Presidential Guard, or meaning the Palestinian Authority. So there is still challenges to see whether this partial or this apparent unity among the Palestinian factions will continue or not.
Adel, you're kind of pointing out some of the nuances of the complexities of basically negotiating this. Delegations still at it. Will they have time to finalize all the points, do you think?
Well, that's what Cairo is quite concerned about. The clock is ticking. We're talking about one day and just few hours are left. And what we've experienced during the first round of the ceasefire, that unless an extension has been agreed upon early enough, there might be some serious concerns. Both sides are still on alert. The 72 hours will expire tomorrow night, and Cairo wants to push forward this extension of the ceasefire for at least a week. Also, the chief negotiator, Saeb Araikat, the Palestinian chief negotiator, yesterday in the Arab League, he expressed his desire that another 7 or 8 days of extension would give time for these talks to yield positive results and to have a clearer frame than what we're seeing right now.
Adel Mahrouky, live for us in Cairo. Thank you.